non-cardio exercises requires 3 movements in one. The first movement is really a step up. So before we even start with the weights, it's really, you want to push off that front leg, that front heel primarily, and you're gonna just come straight up. You're gonna add a shoulder press. So a shoulder press standing should really be in a V, which means your upper arm should be in a V, so they're not here, which would be a U, or out here, which would be a T. It's really a V with your arms. So the first part of the movement is starting with the weights up by your ears. Again, pushing off that front heel primarily, going straight up, coming straight back down into that V. That's the second movement. The third movement then adds in a reverse lunge. So you're going straight up, coming down, and you could do either same leg if you really want to burn out that one leg, or you could do opposite leg with a reverse lunge. So the reverse lunge, you're taking a nice step back, going straight down. Again, you're pushing off that front heel, coming straight up. So the end motion is three parts. And I'll show it to you all at once. So the reverse lunge, again, you want to make sure you're taking a nice wide step back. You want to push off that front heel. Your knee shouldn't really pass in front of your toes. Your back knee should be about 1 inch off the ground. Push off that front heel, step, press. When you combine it into one motion, or one movement, it'll jack the heart rate up nice and high and keep it there the whole time you're pretty much doing the exercise. You don't have to go too heavy with the shoulder press because they'll be burnt out. So again, starting with the weights up by your ears in a V, pressing straight up, back down, reverse lunge, back up. And then obviously you switch legs if you do 10 on each side. Again, V, back down, reverse lunge. And back down. Swing. You really want to end nice and tight at top. So at the end you want to be like you're in a plank. So plank, you're going to be on your forearms and toes, but nice and tight, abs nice and tight. And this is where you should be. When you're doing a squat swing, the end position is really the same thing. Abs nice and tight, butt nice and tight, except your arms are fully extended. So that's the end position, nice and tight. You're squeezing your butt up at the top as hard as you can. Then the start position is really straight down. So you want to squat straight down. Back's nice and vertical, so it's not bent over. Your shoulders should never really come in front of your knees. So you're here, and at the top, you're popping from the hips as hard as you can. Top position. So get the motion down, back nice and straight. Again, always keep that natural S-curve in your spine. By doing that, you allow yourself to stay vertical, pop from the hips. It's really a hip movement, like you're being singed with something and you're popping, squeezing the butt as hard as you can. With that said, you would pick up the kettlebell, you would squat straight down, and you would pop the first one, and popping from the hips each time. Was that good? Alright, so kettlebell clean would just be from the ground, keeping that back up nice and straight, coming up explosively, turning the kettlebells. So it's there. So with this, you want to make sure that you're not coming up too fast and you're not swinging the kettlebell so it's slamming against your forearm. You want to make it nice and smooth so you get right under it. From there, the reason why I like kettlebell clean with the front squat is because it's fairly simple. As long as you have that natural S-curve, you could get this motion pretty easily. So you're going to add the front squat. So kettlebell clean, stay up nice and tight, and you're going down all the way with the front squat. Front squat, you want to make sure you're not turning your wrist. So you want to stay nice and tight, your wrist should stay straight. When you're holding the kettlebells, and chest up nice and tight, back nice and tight, squatting all the way down and up. With the squat itself, you really want to squat down below parallel. I don't know if I was dropping that low. Your knees are in line with your toes, so basically they're tracking your toes, so wherever your knees go, wherever your toes are pointing, that's where your knees are going. And that's about it. Alright. So with piston rows, kettlebell piston rows, you're going to basically line up underneath them. You're going to hinge back, so you're in a basic deadlift position. Keep that natural S-curve in your spine, chest up nice and high. And you're going to roll up one at a time. You're going to breathe in on one, out on the other. Each time, important thing with this is keep that natural S-curve. If you start coming up too high, you're going to put a lot of pressure on your traps. You don't want that. It's a quick, explosive, fast movement. You want to stay bent over the whole time. You're really going to be working your glutes just by stabilizing yourself. You're going to be working your brachialis. You're going to be working the top of your back. So with this, keep that natural S-curve. By the end, you should be nice and winded. It'll get your heart rate up nice and high very fast.